Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into Potbelly Corporation's latest filing. And let me tell you, it's not just about sandwiches. It's about votes, plans, and who's calling the shots, all wrapped up in corporate speak. If you're thinking this is going to be a dry read, stick around, because we're going to unwrap this thing like a delicious but maybe slightly stale Potbelly sandwich. Before we jump in, if you like getting the real deal on what companies are up to, hit that subscribe button. We also have a Discord community where you can chat about this stuff. Link is down below. Alright, let's get into it. This filing is all about what happened at Potbelly's annual meeting of stockholders on May 15, 2025. Basically, the people who own the company got together to vote on some important stuff. There were four main things they voted on: picking the board of directors, approving their accounting firm, giving their opinion on how the top executives were paid, and boosting the number of shares available in their long-term incentive plan. First up, the election of directors. Think of these folks as the company's captains. The stockholders voted on 8 people to be on the board of directors. Looking at the votes, Van Avedisian got over 213 votes held. Joseph Berm got a little over 21 million votes for him. And around 2 million votes held back, Adrian Butler, David Head, David Neer, Dave Pearson, Jill Sutton, and Robert Wright all also got the thumbs up with millions of votes each. Basically, everyone on the list got in pretty easily. Next, they had to decide on who would check their financial books. This is where KPMG LL comes in. They're the independent registered public accounting firm, and the stockholders voted to keep them on board for the fiscal year ending December 28, 2025. The vote was overwhelmingly in favor, with over 27 million votes for keeping KPMG compared to only about 29,000 votes against. That's a pretty solid endorsement. Then comes the say on pay vote. This is where the stockholders get to give their opinion on how much the top executives are getting paid. It's non-binding, meaning the company doesn't have to listen. But it's a good way to gauge how happy the owners are. In this case, a little over 22 million votes were in favor of the executive compensation, while about 632,000 voted against it, so most stockholders were okay with the pay packages. Finally, there was a vote to increase the number of shares in the long-term incentive plan. This plan is basically a way for the company to give employees stock as a reward, hoping they'll work harder to boost the company's value. The stockholders approved this with over 18 million votes in favor and a little over 5 million votes against. This means Potbelly will have more stock to give out to employees. Now, for something a bit sneaky, let's peek at the other events section. This is where companies tuck in details that might not be obvious but are still important. In this filing, Potbelly clarified the deadline for stockholders to submit proposals for the next annual meeting. It turns out there was a mistake in the previous proxy statement. The correct deadline is December 5, 2025, not December 3, 2025, not December 3, 2025. It might seem like a small thing, but missing that deadline could mean your proposal doesn't get heard, so it's pretty crucial for stockholders who want to have a say. So what's the big picture here? Potbelly seems to have had a pretty smooth annual meeting. The directors were elected without much fuss, the accounting firm got a big thumbs up, the executive pay passed the vibe check, and the company got the go-ahead to hand out more stock to employees. But that little correction about the proposal deadline, it shows that even the smallest details can matter when it comes to corporate governance. Alright, that's our deep dive into Potbelly's recent filing. What's your take on these votes and what they might mean for the future of the company, especially with that little deadline correction? Now, looking at these results, Potbelly seems to have a pretty stable base of support from its stockholders. Everyone on the board got re-elected and they're sticking with their accounting firm, but the fact that a decent number of people voted against the executive pay and the stock incentive plan suggests that there's some concern among the owners about how the company is being run. They should try to address those concerns or risk losing even more support next year. It is a sandwich shop and the food business is known to be fickle. Alright, that's our breakdown of Potbelly's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.